Hi, it's Alexis.
And I'm Ryan.
And we're back for week 2 of EngiLIVE. Thanks for tuning in. So, if you didn't have time to submit your questions, you can comment them in the YouTube section right now, and we'll answer them at the end of the talk. So, perfect. So our first question is from Ruth, and she asks, at what point in a match does a team concede the scale to the other alliance, and why? This is a difficult question to find an absolute answer to, is because there's really not an absolute answer to this. Possibly you could concede it when you know you've won. So basically when the amount of time left in the match is less than the points you're winning by, because you get the one point per second for the scale. This is a tough call to make, however, because if you're losing and you're down by so much in this game, it's hard for you to possibly make a comeback if you have all the climbs equal, if you have everything else equal. So it's important to consider how you think it'd be best for your strategy, and if you want to keep fighting and keep trying, I think that's a great idea. But if you do concede the scale, you could focus on the things that maybe the winning alliance won't get. If they're not necessarily going to get that climb, they have levitate, which will help, but they might not necessarily get that climb. So by your alliance ensuring that, you might get more points that the other alliance didn't, which will help you win in the end, even if you're down by the scale. So, next question, please.
Our next question comes from Derhoon Sanders from team 4380 and 5774. His question is, what's a good way to explain gear ratios to students? So a simple way to explain a gear ratio to your students is to, for instance, take a mountain bike. A mountain bike has pedals and a wheel, and it moves on the ground, and the way that the bike moves is by gears. And so with a mountain bike, there's actually 2 sets of gears, and they have big gears and small gears on both the wheel and the pedal, and you can switch from speed to torque, and you can have your students ride around on a bicycle and see the difference between speed and torque, and how speed is faster but less strength, and torque has more strength but less speed, and you can have a visual representation and show them, and everyone can learn.
Okay, next question, please. So our next question comes from John Urin from Team 1684, the Chimeras, and he asks, for rookies or any newer team, what do you think is the best way to mount bumpers, or any overall bumper tips? So, for example, I brought our bumpers from last year. Let's get them up here. So you can see right here, we actually, on the lip of our chassis, what's really convenient about our bumpers were we were able to just sit them down. And then we had bolts that went into our chassis with rivets. So at the end of each match, we would just take it off according to our alliance color, and then we would just put the screws right back in, and then it was a quick fix per alliance each match. Also, some teams use reversible bumpers, where you just take the fabric up in your red, or you put it back down in your blue, which is really convenient for new teams, so you don't have to use your time and resources to make 2 pair of bumpers when you might need to be doing something else. Also, when it comes to your bumpers, I recommend keeping in mind your ground clearance. The way you go up the platform, you might want to consider where your bumpers are, because you don't want to get stuck going up and you can't get over it because your bumpers are hitting the ground. So look at your team's chassis, what your team's priorities are, and determine where you want your height to be in the dimensions of that as well. Also, bumper kits could be to your advantage. They sell them on Robo Promo, where they have all the materials you could think of, and they have videos for examples. Andy Mark also has kits, which they're sold out of right now. They're out of stock, but they'll come back soon. I recommend researching other teams to see what they do, because researching other teams really helps with new ideas. And then also the kit of part chassis came with a bag of materials for your bumpers, just like the fasteners, so you'll have to look into the materials and pool noodles, wood, whatever you'd like to use for that as well. So, is there any other questions? Alright, perfect. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Bye, everyone.